So exactly almost midway point of 2025. So that should bring some people motivation. That should let you know that you are capable of doing what it is that you're trying to do. When you join this live, I want you to do me a quick favor. Hit the thumbs up button. And when you do that, it's gonna let me know that you're subject to do the right things, right? You're subject to know exactly what it is that you're trying to do, and you're subject to say to yourself, hey, it's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day because you projected it to be a good day. It's gonna be a good day because you know exactly what it is that you're trying to do, right? So, but after doing that though, I need you to do me one quick favor. Go ahead and like this live, right? Like it, and make sure you're sending this out to as many people as possible so they can kind of see exactly what's going on. And this live is for select individuals that know exactly what they're trying to do, and they're saying to themselves, hey, look, we've done a lot. We've done a lot together, right? We've said that when we were here worrying about what was going to happen in the year, some people were just laughing at us. They were saying that we didn't know what we were talking about. They were saying that we're gonna like not make it, right? So, but I'm telling you right now that you're gonna make it, and the reason you're gonna make it is because you have something within you that's prophetic. There's something within you that's gonna make people realize that they've been doing you wrong, okay? Because you're the chosen one, and because you're the chosen one, whenever somebody does something wrong to the chosen one, they have to pay for it. They have to pay for it. So again, when you join my live, I'm going to be giving you the exact same motivation that allowed me to level up with myself and make something out of myself out of nothing. And this is this kind of motivation and steps that you're going to need. Okay, for example, right now, you guys heard about what happened with the big beautiful bill, right? The big beautiful bill, apparently, people were debating the big beautiful bill. It apparently passed. So it's going back to the I think the House so they can do some tweaks, okay? But word has it that it's gonna be ready for signature by July 4th, Independence Day. So I don't know what that means, what it portends. If it means that this is gonna be good for you going forward, or if it means that you're gonna be looking at another scenario where you're not sure what exactly to expect. But in my live yesterday, I was telling people what I expected to happen with this big beautiful bill and the impacts of the big beautiful bill on certain industries. I don't know if your industry is going to be one of those, but my expectation is that a lot of industries are going to find themselves in a world of hurt if they don't immediately start implementing what I call the impacts of this big beautiful bill. So do me a quick favor for all you guys that just join right now. I know you're tired, but I know you're the chosen one though. You may be tired about what people are doing to you right now. You may be tired. You may be saying, you know what? I don't know exactly what to do, but I want you to be motivated, okay? Be motivated, be dedicated, and things are going to turn your way. They're going to turn your way, not because I said so, but because you are an attentive individual. You're an attentive individual that's going to do great things. You're going to do great things for yourself, okay? But that's not all. I also want you to think about what it is you want to accomplish this coming month, okay? So the coming month of July, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? And how can you posture and get yourself situated so the big beautiful bill can be something you can take advantage of, okay? There's a lot of incentives within the big beautiful bill where people are saying, well, you know what? They're giving all the money to the rich people, but is that really the case? Or is it a situation where people are not looking at how they can take advantage of situations, okay? So what if there's incentives for people, you know, to take advantage of? Are you just gonna complain and complain about, well, you know, I never get this, they gave this all to the rich and this, but you may be the rich person that they're giving you this stuff to. So what are you gonna do about it? How are your finances gonna change? How are your finances gonna be impacted by this big, beautiful bill? Okay, is it gonna be something that you're gonna feel bad that you never get anything out of, or are you gonna be one of those people that say, hey, look, I think I've done great for myself. Look at these fuckers. I've done great for myself, and I can do exactly what I need to do. Excuse me, my friends. People just like to speak too much, and when you're asking where they're speeding, they don't know where they're going. Okay, all right, so I'm in the slow lane right now. But think about what I just said. Is a big beautiful bill something that is going to allow you to basically accomplish what you've been thinking about accomplishing? Okay, so remember the chat is open right now. At some point, I'm going to need you guys to tell me exactly what you're trying to do. Okay, all right, all right, all right. So the chat is open. Just be respectful of everybody else, and let's talk about the impacts of this big beautiful bill on your financial situation. Kai Locke, welcome to the live. Do me a quick favor, give me a thumbs up. When you give me a thumbs up, it's gonna let me know that something is going on right now that you need to be careful about. Okay, I'm also gonna tell me that you are doing exactly what needs to be done to take care of what needs to be done. Okay, so but what were your takes about this big beautiful bill that we saw yesterday? There was a lot of debating about the big beautiful bill, but people were not quite articulating what it is that they wanted to talk about. Hello, how are you? Hi, buddy. Appreciate you guys joining. Do me a quick favor, hit the thumbs up button. When you hit the thumbs up button, it's gonna let the YouTube algorithm know that we're talking about some topics. Okay, the book that you see right here, okay, it's on Amazon. It's called The Ensuing Recession. I've left the link somewhere in the description of this video below. Go ahead and tap it and order this book. Oh, by the way, I don't know if y'all know, Amazon Prime days are coming right now. So so that means you may be able to get anything cheaper. So take advantage of that while we're talking. But in any case, there were certain industries that I talked about on my live yesterday that I was given a positive outlook. Again, this is just for educational purposes only. I'm not telling you what to do, okay? You see what I'm saying? I'm not telling you what to do, but use it for what it's worth. Okay, it might be worth a penny, it might be worth gold, it might be worth silver. Use it for what it's worth. Okay, so but think about exactly what I'm talking about right now. Okay, but when you find yourself in situations where you're beginning to doubt yourself, you're beginning to doubt your financial acumen, you're beginning to doubt if people are treating you wrong or people are just trying to take advantage of you, you probably need to take a pause for a little bit. You probably need to take a walk. And when you take a walk, it's going to provide you some clarity. What I like to do, I like to drive. I just like, you know what, let me just get on the road and drive for a little bit. And that's going to enable me to kind of like relax and think differently. Okay. But this big beautiful bill is something that a lot of people have slept on. They haven't been paying attention to the changes. I'll tell you, one of the big changes that happened that they weren't paying attention to was the fact that, remember when they said you're going to be taxed on overtime or no tax on overtime or whatever? Well, they changed all that. No tax on tips, they changed all that. So everything that they were telling you that they were going to like not touch, they pretty much changed. So what that means then is, at some point, the big beautiful bill isn't going to be exactly what we thought it was. It's going to be something that nobody thought it was going to be, which is the big ugly bill. All right? So the big ugly bill is now going to be something that people are going to be like, hey, we didn't expect this to happen. So how come now we're going to get taxed, you know, on your tips? And I also heard too, that for the tips, the one that count, the one that are going to count are the ones that you get in cash. So in other words, if somebody was to give you a tip and the tip was maybe put on the credit card or whatever, that's not gonna count. Okay, it's not gonna count. And then I think the dollar threshold for the overtime is probably like $25,000 or something like that. And you have to report that to your employer. Okay, so there's a lot of changes that is gonna come through with this bill that people are getting, you know, they're getting second thoughts. You guys heard about what happened to that senator from North Carolina? He voted against the big beautiful bill, and they were going to primary him. You know what that means? They're going to send somebody to make sure he loses the election. Guess what he did the next day? He said, I'm not running for re-election. So he's one of those people that stood in on their principles. Because let me tell you what's going to happen, and I brought this about yesterday. There's going to be a lot of impact on middle class people, on poor people. In fact, they're thinking about cutting SNAP. They're thinking about cutting the very lifeblood of folks that don't have enough money and they had to rely on, SNAP programs. But they say in comparison, you guys remember the Build Back Better bill? That crap Build Back Better. All right, they claim Build Back Better had $3 trillion, but nobody really knew where those $3 trillion from Build Back Better were going. Okay, that in comparison to what they're saying right now, actually cut the deficit by a large percentage. So when you see deficit reduction coupled with some kind of incentives, that's why I'm saying, like, right now is probably the best time. If you don't know nothing about business, just go learn about business. Go learn about business. And as a matter of fact, most of the books that I've written that you can take advantage of down in this description below tells you some stuff that you can be thinking about. Okay, like the ensuing recession. The ensuing recession is going to be huge. Big of what I think is happening right now. It's going to be huge because some of the things that I talked about. Oh, don't get me started. Go look to see if crypto is part of this stuff. Did crypto make it to the bill? Because if crypto did, then you're gonna have another situation. Okay. Also look at the real estate deductions. Okay, look at that. Look at those real quick. In addition to the estate planning amounts, like what are the thresholds for estate planning? So start looking into that right now. Again, like I said, I'm not giving you financial advice. This is for educational purposes only, but I want you to be very knowledgeable in these kinds of matters. So you're not just sitting around like barbecuing and all kinds of stuff. There's nothing wrong with barbecuing. I'm having a good time over the weekend, but that's when they sneak this stuff in. I mean, who knew they were debating this big, beautiful bill over the weekend? Who knew that some senators are going to say, hey, I'm going to call it quits because because they voted for some stuff. They said, you know what? I'm going to save myself the embarrassment of being primaried. Okay, because I went against the big, beautiful bill. And that's what's going on right now. We're in a situation where if you go against things that people don't like, they're gonna come after you. Okay, so it begs the question: Are we really free? Are you tired of not just accomplishing what it is you're trying to accomplish? Again, remember this book right here is called The Ensuing Recession. The link is somewhere in the description below. Go ahead and click that link and go grab it from Amazon. And as you guys know right now, Amazon is getting ready to do the Prime days, and with Prime days you can actually get more savings than just your regular shipping. So take a look at it. There might be some prime sales on some of this book. As a matter of fact, all of them are on Amazon. Okay, and while you're at it, I'm also coming up with some exclusive merch. And this merch is for select individuals that are saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to support people that support me. I'm going to make sure that I support somebody like the Fork Killing HQ that's helping people think about what's happening, not just from a job perspective. It's also helping people to understand what they need to be doing. What you need to be doing right now, because again, let's see how the market's going to open. Is the market going to kind of implement or take some of the stuff that's already happened over the weekend into consideration? Is it going to open high? Is it going to open low? I don't know. All I know is there are a lot of risk right now that you need to be considering as part of your portfolio. Okay, again, I'm not telling you exactly what to do. All I'm saying is you need to be very, very, very careful when it comes to people telling you that everything is going to be okay. Okay, I'm not a naysayer, but I'd like to keep it real. Excuse me, I had to drink some water. I like to keep it real because let's face it, there's a lot of negativity everywhere. People tend to say, oh, you're the reason why things ain't working. You're the reason why things ain't working. You're the reason why my portfolio went down. But is that true? Or is it some fat cats in DC giving themselves a lot of discounts? Okay, because that's what people are saying. Okay, a lot of fat cats in DC are smoking cigars and hanging out in back dark rooms and giving themselves discounts, and you in middle America are catching hell. Okay, they're cutting your SNAP, they're cutting your Medicaid. Now, you guys remember why they say, hey, this is supposed to be the biggest wealth transfer? Well, guess what? Your estate thresholds, I don't know if that got increased or nothing, so people can pass this wealth to their offspring. Okay, inheritance. Okay, so you guys gotta look at that stuff. Okay, if you don't know a lawyer, go find one. I'll tell you a good lawyer that you can consult for free. You ready? It's called ChatGPT. Go grab ChatGPT right now and start asking ChatGPT some questions. Post some prompts. Make the prompts very clear and crisp. Okay? And ChatGPT is gonna tell you some of this stuff I'm already telling you. As a matter of fact, what I think you should do when you get off this live is open up ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT to analyze the impact of the beautiful bill. Hey ChatGPT, analyze the impact of the beautiful bill against the Build Back Better bill. Which one actually helps with deficit reduction? And I think that's why some of the Republicans were like, you know what, this bill is ballooning. So they voted against it, okay, on principle. And they also voted against it because the cuts in Medicaid is going to be huge. Believe me, this cuts in Medicaid is going to be huge. It's going to be something like you've never seen before, okay, the likes of which you've never seen before. Again, I'm not the one saying it. I'm going off of what this lawmakers effectively rejected, okay, to their own demise. But it sounded to me like they did not want to go back to their constituents to tell them that, hey, sorry, you sent me to Washington, D.C., and all I ever did while I was in Washington, D.C. was smoke cigars in dark rooms with big fat cats, okay, and we loaded a bunch of pork in these bills that made absolutely no sense to nobody, okay? That's now hurting middle America. And that's a big crying shame that people gotta like do things like that. But what I want you guys to also think about too is at some point there's gonna be a change in the guards, like a change. People are gonna say, okay, I want to change right now. You know, I'm sick of my leaders. But here's another thing I want you to think too. It's not just about the people that are in charge right now. It's about the people that are coming on. Okay, when you have big movements, big shifts in policy, big turns in economic conditions, it brings about change. Okay, and now it's probably the time to start thinking, you in particular, can you be a representative? Can you run for office? Can you be responsible enough to take care of other people? Because if you care about other people, chances are that you're probably going to care when you go to DC. I don't know if y'all remember about how long was that? 8 years ago, when the current president ran the first time. You know, the motto they had was called "Drain the Swamp." Well, let me change this picture real quick. You guys can see something cool. All right, you see that? You see them cars right there, right? They basically floated from that water. How hard is it going to be to drain that swamp right there? If people all over that place are already comfortable with what they want to do. If they're comfortable with saying, no, I don't care how the swamp is. I don't care if there's alligators in that swamp. I don't care if there's freaking snakes in there. I'm not going to drain the swamp, because you know what? I'm part of the folks up there that are having a good time because they can watch what's going on, right? They can say, hey, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to drive my Ferrari through that swamp. I'm going to dock right there, and I'm going to go to a restaurant. I'm going to eat. Okay? Somebody's going to give me money for my pet project, also known as pork. And I'm going to take that pork, and I will be wealthy when it comes to the largesse of the DC enterprise. Okay? It's not going to impact somebody else. It's just going to be me enjoying all this kickbacks. So that's what I want you guys to think about. So you may be in a position to actually be your own representative. And by you representing yourself, you could also represent somebody else. So let me know exactly what you guys want to do, okay? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But I'll be following up again at a later date. We can talk some more. Take care, folks. All right, y'all.